Welcome to Arca's Neet Biology, and let us now discuss the previous questions which are asked from organisms and populations. Now coming to the first question, that is Nike. What do you mean by Nike? Nike is the functional role of the organisms who are living in a particular habitat. So here it is the fourth option, the functional role played by the organism where it lives. Now, natality means, the other name for natality is, it is also called as birth rate. Mortality is called as death rate. Immigration is the people who are coming into or entering into the habitat. Emigration means leaving the habitat. And now, in a growing population of a country, if you see the pyramid, for a growing or expanding population, always pre-reproductive individuals should be more than reproductive individuals. Then we can say that population as a growing population. If suppose the pre-reproductive is less than that of reproductive, then that is called as declining population. If the pre-reproductive and reproductive are same, then that population is called as stable population. Now here, asymptote in a logistic growth curve is obtained when? Okay, so we know that this logistic growth curve has an S shape. Okay, now here this is the lag phase, log phase, slight deceleration phase, and next is the stable phase. So the shape of this curve is S-shaped curve. So, in order to attain the stable stage, it should reach the carrying capacity K. So, when K is equal to N, okay, then when K is equal to N, what happens means, it is the carrying capacity is reaching the climax where the population will remain stable with no further increase. So, the correct one is K is equal to N. If carrying capacity is greater, then the population size will be increasing. Okay, if the carrying capacity is less than that the initial population, then that will be decreasing. Okay. And now in this graph, in this pyramid, we have to know what type of pyramid it is. So if you see here, the pre-reproductive are less than that of the reproductive age. So when this pre-reproductive is less than reproductive, then that type of population is called as a declining population. Now here it is the problem which is related to exponential growth curve. Here the initial population is 100, n is 100, and after that with intrinsic rate of increase, that is R value is 0.5 for every year, time is 6 years, E value is given as 2.72. So 2.72 to the power of it is E value, this is E value, R value is 0.5 into time period, that is 6 years, and T is equal to N naught into E power RT. So if you substitute these values, then we get 100 into 2.72 to the power of 3. 0.5 into 6 is 0.5 into 6 is 3. 2.72 to the power of 3. So now here this 2.72, we get it as 20.12 like that. Okay, 20.12 into initial population is there, and that is 100. So 100 into 20.12 will be 2012. And next is the logistic population growth is expressed by the equation dn by dt is equal to Rn k minus n by k. Here again there is an explanation regarding the logistic model. When does the growth rate of a population following the logistic growth curve will be equal to 0? We know that the formula here is dn by dt is equal to Rn k minus n by k, or simply we can write it as dn by dt is equal to Rn into 1 minus n by k. If you assume this n by k value is 0, then 1 minus 0 will be 1. So it will be same as the with the intrinsic rate of increase. Okay, now here if suppose n by k is 0, then here the population will not become 0. But here they were asking when does that it will be equal to 0. So n by k value is 1. Okay, if you take this n by k value is 1, then what happens is 1 minus 1 will be 0. 0 into something will be 0. So that is satisfied. Now what will be the answer means when n by k is exactly equal to 1, then the logistic model equation will be 0. And here again a problem regarding the population attributes, where they have given the natality, that is the birth rate, as 250, and out of that the immigration is plus 20, that is total is 270. Out of this 270 we have to minus the death rate as well as immigrants. So the death rate will be, here you can see, minus death rate is, mortality rate is 250, 240, mortality rate is 240 plus 30, so it will be 270. So on the other hand also it is 270 minus 270 is 0. Okay, this is population attribute. B plus I minus D plus E. Now, the age pyramid with broad base indicates, okay, broad base means the pre-reproductive is more than that of reproductive and post-reproductive. So, if the pyramid is like that, then what pyramid we can call this as means it will be having a high percentage of young individuals. The pre-reproductive age is more, then that population will be expanding population. And here, what are the properties of the desert lizard? Okay, we have to check the options and we have to give the correct one. Burrowing in the soil to escape high temperature. Okay, this is done by the desert lizard. When the outside temperature is high, it go into the burrows to escape into the moist layer, and it protect itself from the high temperature. Losing heat rapidly from the body during the high temperature. No, this is wrong. Basking in the sun when the temperature is low. This is also true. Insulating body due to the thick fatty dermis. This is absent. So the correct options are A and C. And next here the diagram is being given. In this diagram we have to identify what A is, B and C. Here the temperature is maintained constant whatever the surrounding temperature is. So here that type of temperature, this type of organisms we can call them as regulators. B is changing their temperature with that of surroundings. So here we can call it as conformers. C is changing its temperature with surroundings up to certain extent, and later on it is maintaining a constant temperature. So A is a regulator, B is a conformer, and C is a partial regulator. So fourth is the correct one. So which one of the following is one of the characteristics of the biological community? So here they have given stratification, natality, mortality and sex ratio. So here what will be the characteristic of the biological community? Community means, you know, the group of individuals or the group of populations who are existing in a particular place. So which of them belongs to this biological community means it is the stratification, the group of organisms interacting in a particular lake. Okay, so this natality, mortality and sex ratio are the attributes to measure a population. So here again the graph is being given and we have to identify the correct one which are being given below. So here the population statistics of in a particular year, and the other later it is being given by the graphical representation. So here if you see the B picture, the population is more when compared to that of the population of the A. Okay, the population of A is slightly decreased. So what the question they have asked is, a country with a high rate of population growth took measures to reduce it. The figures show age experiments of the population A and B 20 years apart. Select the correct interpretation about them. So let us think that this B as the initial population. So this country have been taken the population measures in order to control the population. Okay, thereafter certain 20 years the population have been slightly decreased. So here A is the most recent one which shows the slight reduction of the population from that of the B. So this option is the correct one.